like really difficult. Good. Really? It's like, no way. Something like that. Okay. I don't really need the GPS on it, kind of know where I'm going, so I've been there. Yeah, I've had this lady hire me for all sorts of stuff, but she usually, it's weird, like she gets me, like, she usually hires me in between other jobs. And it's like, because there's that window, it's like if you have a job at 2 o'clock, or a job that ends at 2 and a job that starts at 3, the client can still hire you at 30. And it's like, really? Why? There we go. I'm like, why is this gate not opening? Dude, come on. I got a couple rock stars here, but I need to drink water the rest of the day. Because, like, I'm feeling it in my body. I think maybe part of my fatigue lately is that I'm not hydrating as much as I should. You know, it's you know, between juggling work and writing. So, but we're getting there. It's like, it's just a weird balancing act. Like, when I'm at work, you know, it's one thing to be at work and it's like, oh man, I wish I was home, I wish I was off, whatever, you know. But it's like, when I'm working, it's like I'm really, really glad that, oh, I'm making money, no, this is all good. But then, like, it sinks in, like, I'll be in the middle of a job, and it's like the moment I get there, it's like, man, I could be writing right now. You know, and then I realize that I need this. You know, I got to keep my mind right. I got to keep to the schedule. I got to keep to the schedule of working as much as I can and then writing all the other time, you know. So it's a weird balancing act that I've had to do, and I'm pretty sure that all of you guys know exactly how that works. You know, trying to, you know, have your life outside of work, but you gotta work, man. And it's like, eventually it'll get to the point where the book is finally done and we can move on to the next step to get it published. You know, get it edited and all and cleaned up and all that. I'm totally down for that. I'm ready for that. But that's a while off. But right now it's the crunch. Right now is the biggest, baddest part of it. Right now I have to work and work and work and work because, I mean, hell, let's say the book does gangbusters. Let's say the book does fantastic. Let's say it sells enough copies, you know, regularly to where the money I get from my royalties can offset. It would offset the cost of having to work for TaskRabbit, and I could not have to work for TaskRabbit anymore. I could literally just do the dream job and be a full-time author, you know, and make my living off of writing books. That's the dream job, right? Well, that wouldn't happen for months away. You know, just because I finished the book in less than 2 weeks from now, there's still a couple months of a process to get it published, just to get it in people's hands. And then even once it is up for sale, it's going to be a good 2 months before I see my first check. So, when you boil things down, I can't let up on what I'm doing now just because I got this other thing going on. And that's like a really hard thing for people to truly grasp, is the fact that, you know, not just with writing like I do, any kind of entrepreneurial thing that any entrepreneurial endeavor that someone takes, anything that someone's trying to do to elevate their life to the next level, whether it be college, whether it be, you starting your own business and growing that way. No matter what you do, you still have to pay the bills. And no matter how clean-cut things are, it's going to be a while before you see any fruit from your labor. So, and that's just kind of the nature of the beast of what I'm going through is, yeah, I know that if I quit my job working on TaskRabbit 100% completely, I could have all that time to finish writing, do all the things I need to do, but then I'm not making any money in the meantime. So you got to kind of be realistic about these things. So what happens is this trap that a lot of people fall into is they see that reality, and they see how stressful and they see how difficult and see how hard it is, and then they push their dreams, they push their endeavors, the opportunities that they want to take, the ones that they want to pursue to be able to grow and develop into something better than what they currently are. They see the strife, they see the struggle, they see the hardship that comes with it, the long road that you have to go through to make sure that can be a reality. So by seeing that, they get turned off. It's like, well, it's going to take so long and this, that, and the other and blah, 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 blah. You know what? Never mind. It's not going to do it, And it's like a year down the road, when you look back, you're like, man, like, for example, this whole thing with Shelter, within 6 months, I'll have my first check from selling the book. If I don't do everything that I am currently doing now, and I were to say, oh, never mind, Shelter, it's going to be too much, or if I, don't focus on work at the same time, if I don't go through these struggles and these hardships right now, then 6 months from now, I'm going to look back and be like, damn, I really should have done that back then. Let me do it now. It's this thing that we're constantly putting off, doing the things that are hard. We're constantly pushing the things that are the most difficult aside. It doesn't matter if it'll elevate us to the next level or not. It's being able to push through all of those things. Look at everyone that go to college. There's a lot of people that get full rides or they rely entirely on student loans. But then there's that group of people that are going to college and they're working full-time. Hell, sometimes full-time plus a part-time job. These people have no social lives. These people are barely making it with sleep as it is. They're crunching every penny that they have because most of it's going to further their education. But what happens at the end to those people? The majority of them come out of it with a degree. The vast majority of them come out debt-free from having to owe any student loans or anything like that. And the whole reason why that is because they took the time, they took the years worth of energy and attention to make sure that they could get that thing done, so that when it was finally complete, they could move on with their lives unfettered, unabashed, unafraid of having this lingering thing from the past come back and haunt them, essentially. So that's kind of my little spiel and what I'm going through now. I'm acknowledging the fact how difficult this is, and it's okay to have the doubts in your mind. It's okay to second guess yourself. These things are normal. The whole thing that I'm trying to say is that when these doubts, when these second guesses, when these cold feet moments come up in your life, you need to acknowledge them. You can't just push them to the wayside. You can't just ignore them. You have to understand that this is part of being human. This is part of what you're going through. And by acknowledging it, and then being able to move past it, you have done one of the most difficult things that you can do in life. And that is to look your hardships right in the face and accept it for what it is. You can be honest with yourself and your situation and say, hey, I got this. It's going to help your confidence tremendously if you look yourself in the mirror and you're honest with yourself above anything else. Be honest about your situation. Acknowledge, yeah, this shit's fucking hard. This is difficult. Like, I'm not getting a whole lot of sleep, or I have no time to play video games. Where's my time to relax? Yeah. Look at yourself and say all of that. And then move past it. Acknowledge the fact, like, yo, man, this is rough, but I got this. Remind yourself that you're doing all of this shit for a reason. Anyway, how are you? Alright, so my client hasn't hit me back. Really hoping that they would. So here's the deal with my next one. The two clients I had, the one for this morning at 11 o'clock, which it took me 50 minutes, it was pretty quick. Finished that one, I'm on my way to the next, But that's slotted for 2 p.m. I don't know what her schedule's like. Initially, she hired me for 1:30. I didn't want to cut it too close because I didn't know that exactly everything that this other girl needed done. She made it seem like it was going to take a lot longer, but I was able to knock it out relatively quickly. So now I'm on my way to the next one, which, yeah, this one is going to take quite a bit longer, which is good. So the earlier I get there, the earlier I'm done, because then I can go and write. I hate writing late into the night, mainly because of my keyboard. It's way too clicky-clacky. It's too loud. My keyboard is way too loud for it's fine for me because I have my headphones on, so I listen to music or whatever. I don't hear anything. But the other people in the house, fake wife and the baby, they're not too click, 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 click at 1 in the morning. They're not a big fan of that. So it's kind of where no one's saying nothing. That's cool. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Happy Sunday, by the way. I think I'm just I gotta go pick up some eggs, so I think I'm just gonna go do that real quick, because this client hasn't said anything to me. But yeah, so I do like being able to write during the day. I miss out on a lot during the day, but it just kind of is what it is. I am so comfortable with my current writing situation. I love it. For what I have. Is it the best in the world? No. It's not. You see, I wouldn't mind like riding on the bed, like hanging out with fake wife, but it's hard because then when I'm in the room and I got my headphones on, I'm trying to focus, I'm trying to write, then she wants to talk, and it's like, or if something comes up and she wants to have a conversation, it's like, well, fuck. It's like, now I gotta stop this, and then it breaks my train of thought. So, and that's not a slight against her. It's not. It's just me and my process. It's like I need to hone in on something. The moment that I get going, I'm in a flow. The moment I get interrupted, it fucking destroys me. So, like, that's everyone has their own little thing. I can multitask pretty well, except for when it comes to writing. If I'm writing or like editing a video, it's really difficult. The moment I start, I steamroll it. I just go. But the moment that I get interrupted from that, it becomes extremely hard to pick it back up, because then it's like I already lost my momentum on what I was doing, to trying to kind of get back into that. That's why I close myself off away from distractions as much as I can. But yeah, there will be times where I'll be sitting down writing, and my brain is like fried for a moment, and I can't think of jack shit to write. So I'll play up a YouTube video, right? I'll watch some whatever filler fucking content, right? Just sitting there listening to whatever, and while I'm doing that, my brain's kind of like digesting what because like even when, here's the thing, man, I'm so wrapped up with Shelter, I'm thinking about this damn book. Not writing. I'm constantly like playing things over in my head, and sometimes sitting there staring at the blank screen can be helpful, because I'm like, all right, well, what am I going to write? What am I going to kick this off? Let me just try something, right? It doesn't always work for me. So by getting out of Scrivener, going in and just having some background noise on, I'm still filtering all these ideas in my head, and I'll sit there for a good 30-40 minutes, and then out of nowhere, bam, something will click. And I'll go back into Scrivener, I'll go back through a couple of the chapters, I'll see something that I was just thinking of, and I'm like, okay, I like that. That's kind of what the track that I was trying to get on. And then I'll go back and I'll be able to start writing. And then it's just clickety-clack for hours. We all kind of have this weird way of getting in the groove of something, when it comes to like for furniture assembly that I do with IKEA and stuff. I have a very steady groove whenever I work with IKEA furniture. It's the same across the board. I get there, I assess what items need to be assembled, I take out my knife, I open up every single box, right? I spread everything out so it's all individually laid out so I can go grab it as I need it, right? And then I do the same with all the little bits of hardware, the screws, the dowels, like the cam locks, all of that. I then open that up, put all that on the ground, and then I divide it all out. So everything's kind of in its own little separate spot, like items with like items. And then I just start running, just start going through. Because everything I have prepped ahead of time. And doing that 5-10 minutes to kind of sort stuff gets me going for the whole rest of the time that I'm there. For the people that watch my Amazon Flex videos, you guys would see I would spend as much time as was necessary in the warehouse sorting packages. I made sure that, hey, every package is going to be lined up in a very, very particular order, at least for my location that I was at. And the reason why I did that is because in doing so, I was able to compartmentalize everything in just such a fashion to where, hey, I'm going to this location, and I could just grab. It's like I knew where everything was for every single stop, every single time. And it was, I was on. Don't miss it, not in the slightest. It paid pretty decent money for the time I was doing it, yeah. I'd work a 5-hour shift, I'd complete in about 2.5 hours, I'd make $90, And I think, all right, this is pretty good for one day. Given said the fact that a good $25 to $30 of that $90 back into the gas tank, it wouldn't be so bad if most of the stops were kind of close together. I always kept the truck running when I made stops. Save on gas, save on the engine and the ignition and all that, instead of starting it up constantly. We all have our methods. We all have our little way of getting the job done the most. I should probably stream on Twitch tonight. I don't know. Well, I should, at least for a little while. I got to make some kind of presence. The only downside is I can't be very animated. Like, super vocal. Maybe I'll stream for a little bit. Highway patrol going down the street. Yeah, this dude is I don't think this client's gonna hit me up, so I think I'm just gonna drop by the house for a little bit and then I'll head down and go take care of business. Well, I gotta go to Walmart and get eggs first. That's the first thing I gotta do. People running red lights. Nice. Ugh. I had the strangest dream last night, man. I had a dream I got called back into the military. What in the hell, man? But they didn't send me back into the Army. I had to go into the Marine Corps. I'm like, what? I wasn't a Marine. Why am I going back into the military but into the Marine Corps? It makes no sense. And I just kind of went with it. Eventually in the dream, everything kind of figured itself out and I didn't have to go back in. But I had to experience like a good week or two kind of getting back in, processed into a unit and all that stuff. And it was like an immediate deployment type thing. It was freaking bizarre. Having to go off to some other country. It was just weird, man. There are sometimes I have dreams about being back in the military, or kind of along the line of nightmares of individuals from my time enlisted. Just guys that were just complete pieces of human trash. Just re-entering my life to cause havoc. Remember, I had a dream. I was laying in bed, and I had woken up because Sergeant First Class Morris, opened my bedroom door and said, "Montgomery, come on, it's time for PT." And I'm like, and I woke up like in a panic, like, oh God, this dude, man. There are some people in our lives, man, that they may have never physically harmed us, you know, but the mental shit that they leave behind is harrowing, you know. And Sergeant Morris is one of those individuals. Yeah, he never physically hurt me or anything like that, but just the kind of man that he was and the way that he treated us, just weird feeling. It's like I sit here and acknowledge, like, yeah, he never hurt me. Just wouldn't this rank, therefore you're in charge. We're gonna listen to you, but. And this is the same thing with a lot of NCOs, good, bad, or indifferent. Is that, man, I could not stand. But there's of these individuals that I respect. There's elements that they displayed where I thought that they were not only decent, like they're inhuman, the way that they act. You know, it's like, it's beyond a level of being robotic, and it's kind of this element where they are just inhuman. They cannot process what it's like to be outside of your own skin. To see what it's like going from another person's perspective. And there were times where piece of shit NCOs that I fucking hated, they would display an element of humanity, you know, and along with a decent display of leadership. So let me just get over her. What else? There was another thing I wanted to say. Except for Sergeant Combs. Or I should just say Specialist Combs, because he lied about, he forged a bunch of paper. Long story short, this dude forged a bunch of documents from when he was in the Air Force, claiming that he was a lot higher of a rank than he was, and then he got this higher rank, and eventually some people at DEERS and DFAS figured out, like, well, no, this is full of shit. You're not this rank. I remember my LAS, and it's like, well, there's my pay grade. I'm good to go. Everyone else was at JRTC at the time. I didn't go because I was getting ready to go to Korea. And I just walked into work one day and I'm like, well, here's my specialist rank. And they're like, Montgomery, you can't do that. You need a promotion ceremony. Fucking says who? Look at my LAS. I'm an E4. Which, you know, I had been treated like an E4 long before I became an E4. So, anyway. What it be? Hey, what's up? Hey, I'll be right back. I gotta go get something in the store. Mace Valor signing off.